Hey guys, welcome to a Winemaker Wednesday. We are out in the vineyard today on a beautiful spring day, taking a look at the crop, seeing how vintage 2024 vineyards are setting up. So let's take a look and I'll show you around. So here you go. You've got about a foot or so of growth out on the vines. And here, let's zoom in. Here's a little, here's vintage 2024 cluster. That's what we're looking at here. This is Chardonnay, taking a peek at today, seeing how things are going. You can see it's a beautiful spring day here, late in April. So you can see here down this row, still some tall grass on the right-hand side, just underneath the vines, but the center row has been mowed down. So that cover crop's been mowed down, and all of that grass is gonna go back into the soil, which is great. And then all these grasses are gonna come along, mow this down underneath the vine, and get all that cleaned up here as we get further into the season. Let's take a little detailed look here at the vine structure itself. Maybe you're not that familiar with it. So coming out of the ground, obviously what we would call the trunk, just like a tree. So this is the trunk here. And then this horizontal arm coming off to the right is what we call the cordon. So this is, in technical terms, a unilateral cordon, meaning that it only goes in one direction. There are some bilateral as well that go left and right. Above that, you see these little arms coming off the cordon that go up vertically. Those are called spurs. Here's a close-up view of that spur. The cordon below it, the spur here, and then this year's growth coming off of it. So it's two new canes. This one here and this one here will grow up this year. See, each one has, looks like 2 clusters per shoot, which is pretty typical. Little baby grape cluster there and one there. And the little one here, a little grape cluster there. They haven't flowered yet. They'll start going through flowering here pretty soon. And the crews will come along as well and sort of clean up all of this stuff here at the bottom. So this is suckering or shoot thinning, if you will, at the bottom. And so when they're done, it'll look like that. Get it all cleaned up. So get all that fuzzy stuff off the bottom. And you just don't want that extra growth. That extra growth takes away water and nutrients from the rest of the vine and from it focusing on producing great quality Chardonnay. So yeah, get all that stuff cleaned up here in a little bit. So this is the time of year that we'll come through and clean up the vines, do a little bit of shoot suckering as they say. So this is one that's not been done yet. And you can see there's lots and lots of little leaves. Hard to see the cordon itself. This, what it's gonna look like more or less when it's done. So you can really see those spurs. The cordon is nice and clean, nothing growing off the top of the bottom. You can see through a lot more air movement. We'll get through this vine than the previous one. That's a nice cleaned up cordon. And all that work gets done by hand. So imagine the thousands and thousands of vines that are in this vineyard, and all that work gets done by hand. Farming's not easy. So you may notice these vines are out about a foot. They've had about a foot of growth. That the structure, the trellis itself, you can see the wires, cross arms, are all much taller than the vine itself. A little close-up look here. And what will happen as the season goes on, those canes, those little green shoots down there are going to grow another foot, another 2 feet, another 3 feet or so. They're going to grow all the way up to this top wire. Once that happens, then all the nutrients, all the energy, all the sun energy and nutrients in the soil go into creating sugar into those clusters and flavors and aromas that we end up enjoying in the wine. So this canopy, although small now, will eventually become much, much bigger and fill this whole trellis system. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. Thanks for joining today. Hope you enjoyed the little tour through the vineyard here. Looking really good, happy with the growth and everything, and the work they're doing, although there's a ton of work left to do in this vineyard, but the crews are going to get after it. So thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.